Today I'm going to be demonstrating the new Integrity Lead Center platform, including the registration process via our newest gateway portal. So the first thing that you're going to do is familiarize yourself with your HCMS login credentials. That's the username and password that you set up when you first onboarded with Family First Life. Those credentials are going to be used to access the gateway portal. Once you know your username, again, your email address, you'll use that to log in to Gateway. Once logged into Gateway, you'll click on ILC, and you'll be asked to confirm your national producer number. Please be sure that you read through this entire message and either continue to ILC if the NPN matches your records. If this NPN looks off to you, please go to HCMS and modify this information before you proceed. You'll be rerouted through a couple of different pages. If you get stuck anywhere along the way, we will be able to help you. Let's assume a happy path here. Once you're logged into ILC, the first thing that you see is the Order Leads page. This is the heat map that you are already familiar with. It functions the same way as it always has. You can drag the country around, you can select a specific state, and then a specific county. You'll notice that there has been an additional feature added here. So instead of hovering over a state that you may or may not be familiar with and identifying a specific county, you can just drop down the state box and then begin to type in the county that you're looking for. You'll notice that the map does not change view. That's okay. Simply scroll down and you'll see the availability that exists and that's readily available to you for purchase below the map. So we are aware that on click of state and county or on filter of state and county, the map doesn't change view. But as of right now, if you were to use the map how you have already been doing by selecting a state and then a county, it will trigger these filters to change. So they work one way, they don't work both ways for the time being. So if I were to be ready to place an order for leads, I would add a couple of those leads to my cart simply by adding the quantity that I wish to purchase into this order box here. And then I would add those to my cart. While we're here, let's take a look around the Order Leads page. You'll see a bell icon, which will allow you to turn on notifications for any and every time new leads are posted into specific counties. You can have as many notifications on at a time as you'd like. We recommend that you turn them on in areas that you may travel to or that you prefer to work in. That way, when new leads are populated, you're one of the first people to know about them. If you're someone new who's not yet familiar with our lead types and you want to know more about a new internet lead and how that might compare to a mortgage protection without Image 3+ month, you can simply click on the I for a little bit more information about that lead, how it was generated, and its cost. Additionally, on the Order Leads page, and just in general, across the top of the ILC platform, you have a shopping cart so you can easily access your cart if you had prepared one from any page in the CRM. You'll also see this bell icon up here, which will remind you of any reminders that you've set to contact your clients that day. So if you have already set yourself a reminder to contact your client, Sasha, on April 20th at 6 p.m., you would see that notification here. Another addition to ILC is the ability for an agent to view and or modify their profile. So by clicking account settings here, you will be able to view all of your billing methods that you have on file, as well as your information as it exists in HCMS. One thing that you can change on your account settings page is deactivating your cherry pick alerts. Let's say one day you were extremely overzealous and added too many alerts, and now they're bombarding your inbox. You can easily turn them off by selecting or deselecting the box here to deactivate all cherry pick alerts. All of the information that exists in these boxes, general information, organization, and contact details, that's all ported over from HCMS, and you don't have the ability to edit any details here. If you need to add a payment method on file, you can do so here without ever creating a cart, and you can also easily update your payment methods for some of your buy per lead options as well. So you would come to payment methods, and here you could modify any of the payment methods that you have on file, whether you got a new card, it's the same digits, maybe just the expiration date changed, or you have a new card for your business now that you'd like to add on file. Please note that once you add a card on file, you will always have to have a minimum of one card on file going forward. So you won't be able to delete all of your payment options. Something important for me to point out here is that your expiration date is looking for the format of a 2-digit month and a 4-digit year. You may see an error if you only provide, for example, 1/22, insinuating that your card expires on January 2022. Not only is that a date in the past, it's not the correct format. Another issue that comes up when people are adding a new card on file is a zip code error. So the billing zip code here is specific to what the bank has on file for that specific card. So while the bank may have the correct zip code on file for your account, each card has to have the correct zip code added as well. So if that may have changed for you in recent times, you'll want to contact your bank about that specific scenario. Let's go back to continuing to purchase our leads. If you were ready to check out at this point and you had a coupon, you could apply that in the box here. And once you add your coupon into the box, you'll need to hit apply in order for that to actually discount your transaction. If you don't hit apply, the coupon will not be applied to your order and you will pay full price for your leads. So please be sure that you've clicked that box and either you see a red error as I do here, or you will see a green banner letting you know that your coupon has been applied. You'll also see a couple of things change on the screen here. If you did have a valid coupon, you would see another line added here to show you how much was taken off per lead type. And you would see a discounted amount down here in your transaction total as well. You can play around with the amount of leads in your cart. So you could change the quantity simply by updating that in this box here. And you can either click enter or just click outside of the box and it will update that quantity to update your cart total as well. If you needed to delete a specific line item entirely, you could use the trash can right over here. And if you changed your mind entirely and are not ready to buy leads at this moment, you can cancel your order here. If you're ready to check out, you'll hit proceed to payment. And here you'll want to make sure a couple of things. Number one, all of the leads and their quantities have been updated. Number two, the correct payment method that you're desiring to use on this transaction is what's in this box here. If that's not the case, hit edit payment methods. And number three, make sure that that discount is still listed here in your order total. Just precautionary measures for you to make sure that everything is as it should be. You want to be as diligent as possible. So if you're ready to order, then you will hit purchase. And then the screen will let you know that your order has been placed. It will provide you an order ID, which that order ID will also be delivered to you in an email, confirming number one, that a payment has been processed for said order, as well as those leads have been delivered to your CRM. Once you've received that confirmation email that your leads have been delivered, you'll either log back in or just go to the Manage Leads page, and you'll see all of the leads that you have purchased not only today, but also all of the leads that you've purchased in the last 7 days. This format may not be the most ideal format for everyone, especially if you're a user coming over from our older CRM. So we do have the option for a list view, which looks a little bit more like what you may be used to. Also note that this platform is completely mobile friendly. So the card view is intended and will be the only option for any mobile user. But if you're on a laptop or a PC desktop, then you have the option for card view. So let's spend a little bit of time here on the Manage Leads page. The first thing that I want to point out is the fact that I have previously mentioned. By default, the ILC platform is only going to show you the leads that you've purchased in the last 7 days. If you haven't purchased any leads in the last 7 days, then you'll see no data when you load this page. What you will want to do in that scenario is click on the filter option here. You'll be able to change a lot of different filters to narrow down the search that you are trying to run. And you can change the receive date to the past 30 days, 90 days, or perhaps you're just looking for leads that you purchased on a specific date, in which case you can use the custom range to search back to that specific date. I'd like to point out here that you will not be able to search by county by default. You will always have to have a state selected in order to be able to search by county. You'll also be able to search by order ID. So where you had previously checked out in the CRM and received an order ID, which is also in your email, you can then use that order ID to search for the specific batch of leads that you had purchased on that day. If you're looking to take further action on your leads, you'll need to tell the CRM which leads specifically you are wanting to take action on. So you'll see a couple of action buttons here: template, assign leads, and status. But you notice that as I hover across them, there's no option for me to click them. So how would I go about printing my leads? Once you select leads and essentially give the CRM some data to work with, then the action buttons become bold. So now you should be able to hit template, which will download a PDF with all of the leads that you had selected. In this case, we're using 3 as an example, but you could select multiple pages if that is what you're working with. Let's say you purchased 100 instant internet leads. You can print all of those at one time, or you could export them depending on what your preference is and how you're going to go about your dialing session. Let's work with these, for example, right now. So if I wanted to print or download the images for these leads, which these are mortgage buy per lead leads. And from my experience, I know that the phone number may or may not be embedded in the data of this lead. So I need to download the image in order to be able to find the phone number for the person that I'm needing to call. So I've selected the leads, I'll hit template, and that will download a PDF onto my computer where I can then see the images that were filled out by these people. I could do that again and perform a different option. I could choose to now assign these leads to someone in my downline. I'll search by first and last name, and it has a predictive text. So as I start typing, it will give me some options. I could also choose to assign the status in bulk. Let's say I've dialed through these leads and I'm ready to change them from new to first call. I would select the leads, click assign status, and then select where I left off with each of those leads. And assuming you've left off with all of them in the same spot, that would be first call, second call, door knock, and the list goes on. Once you hit update, then the status will change. And if you needed to come back to search for those leads, you could always search by status and search by however you have left off with those leads. While we're here as well, I'd like to point out the option of how many leads you're viewing per page. You can view 20, 40, 60, 80, or 100 leads per page. Once you set this, it will be a default. So if you're someone who would rather see more leads on a page at a time, once you hit 100 here, it will save that across the board. So every time you log in, you'll always see 100 leads per page. Now let's say you are working with 100 leads on a page and you don't want to select one at a time. You can use the option here to select all, and that will quickly select all of the leads on that page. And this feature will allow you to select all of the leads on multiple pages at a time. So if there existed a second page of leads, I would click the number 2 down here. It would show me the next batch of 20, 40, 60, 80, or 100 leads. And then I can hit select all, and all of the leads on that second page would then be selected as well. So if I, again, using my previous example, if I had purchased 150 instant internet leads today, I could do a select all on page 1, page 2, and then a third page, and all of those images would print out, or all of those templates would print out on one PDF, but 150 pages. Let's go into a lead profile. To do so, you'll click on the magnifying glass here. Once you're in a lead profile, you can see all of the details about that specific lead. So you can see the lead type, the lead ID, which is helpful for suppressing a lead, the status that you left on, what day you received that lead, and all of the valuable details that you would need in order to contact that person. If you needed to make a change, say to their date of birth, because now you have learned that through a conversation with that person, you can change that by clicking again on the pencil here. That'll allow you to edit any box in this, any field I should say. It will allow you to edit any field in this box relating to a client detail specifically. You could do the same over here. Once you've talked to that person or sat with them, you could edit the product details that are relative to that client. And same with the lead details if you needed to change something. I want to quickly point out that you have an alert here that the shopping cart will expire in 5 minutes. So you do have 15 minutes to check out with your cart that you've created, and the timer will pop up to remind you that, hey, your cart is about to expire. So, if you got distracted by someone calling back in, you can always quickly and easily go back to the cart and quickly check out. That way you don't lose the leads that you had drawn up for yourself. I'll point out here that you will be able to add reminders and or notes to your client for, any progress that you've made with that person. So a reminder again is, they've asked you to contact them back on Friday at 6 because that's when they're home, or, that's when they're going to be available to have a conversation. Then the alert feature up here will remind you on Friday that you have an appointment, or, you need to contact someone back. You'll also be able to navigate from one lead to another quickly within the lead profiles. So you can navigate forward and backward by clicking on these arrows here. If you're someone who is subscribed to any other CRM or dialing software, those softwares are going to need for you to export your data, your client and lead information, so that way you can upload them to that platform that you're using. So the best option for you is to select the leads that you wish and then export. You'll notice that you're given two options. I know some dialer platforms will need the data in a CSV format. Others will be okay with an Excel, or if you're someone who just prefers to work via Excel, then you can go with whichever route best suits your needs. I'll point out as well that there's a quick search filter here that allows you to filter by or search by first name, last name, or lead ID. So if someone had sent a lead to you, or if someone had sent and batched a lead over to you, you can search that lead ID here. And if you just happen to remember that you have a lead named Sasha Alba, then you can search that lead here. So let's say, again, you're either shopping or working within your leads, either assigning to a downline, trying to print and get ready, updating your notes, and someone calls. One of your clients calls, one of your leads call back. You can quickly search their name here. And if it doesn't pull up here, then you can always use the search filters as well, depending on how far back the lead became a lead. When you received that lead initially, it may populate via a quick search. You may have to use the search filters. The Ask a Specialist field is something that you are already familiar with. It brings you to a form that you can fill out specific to your advanced market needs. So if you have a client, or you know that you have an appointment with someone who has a specific need for one of those advanced market services, then you can fill in their information here and get a little bit more help, if not a lot more help, to better answer the client's questions and take it from an appointment to a sale to protect their retirement and or plan for their future. So that can be done via the Ask a Specialist field within ILC. We've gone through every button that ILC has to offer as of right now. If updates are made available, then more videos will be created to keep you in the loop on features that are added as we go along. But I hope you found this to be extremely helpful. If you have any questions at all, please contact leads@familyfirstlife.com or leadssupport@familyfirstlife.com.